All right, happy March 5th, everybody. Moment of quick silence for that poor little girl that got flung 10 miles from her trailer by that tornado, and she finally died. But her misery is ended, and she's with her family now on the other side because they all died initially. All right, here is the rest of the show. John Gray, Dr. John Gray. He's changed my life. Here we go.
You need to hear, John, from a number of different sources and camps and circles that stress may be the biggest factor of medical decline.
That is it. You know, I teach a whole course. I'll mention to people because people hear my medicine, my wellness information. In May, I'm doing one this year in the California area, in the San Francisco area. But everything can be boiled down to all of what we call heart disease, our modern sicknesses, heart disease, cancer, autoimmune diseases can be directly linked, 99% of it, to elevated chronic stress levels.
99% of it?
Really?
Yes. Oh, yes. When you have elevated stress levels,
kills.
the first thing that happens is your immune system stops making white blood cells. When your immune systems don't make white blood cells, then cancer has a chance to grow out of control in your body. We all now have cancer in our bodies. This is new in the last 20 years. It's been proven with autopsies of healthy people that everybody, even children being born now, are born with cancer. But our immune system is able to keep it at bay.
That's right.
And so why do we have cancer? Due to all these environmental toxins which cause genetic damage. But our body can, you know, body's amazing. It's miraculous. But it needs the immune system to work. So cortisol inhibits the immune system. Chronic cortisol levels will cause chronic inhibited immune system. As I mentioned before, when you have cortisol levels go up, your digestion, you make less enzymes to digest your proteins. So now you don't have the brain chemicals to make the dopamine for motivation and the tryptophan for feeling well-being in the brain. So there you get the two subjects we just talked about. And heart disease, we already know that's high stress levels. What happens is your vessels will constrict because stress is your body's reaction to run away from an animal or to attack it, one or the other. And so you need more oxygen to the cells. So the cells, the blood vessels will actually constrict in order to, you know, like if you have a hose and you want to make the water squirt further, you
squeeze it.
You squeeze it, and it will squirt faster. So what happens in danger is that your blood vessels will constrict to get more blood flow into the muscles. And if you have any plaque on your vessels, then the plaque starts to chip off, and that causes a little tear in the vessel. Then you get a blood clot, and that's what a heart attack primarily is.
And a stroke, and that's it.
A stroke or a heart attack.
Let's go to Cleveland, Ohio. Pete is with us east of the Rockies. Pete, good morning.
Oh, good morning, George. I love the show.
Thank you, Pete.
I'm a long-time listener. I agree with Dr. Gray's philosophy just wholeheartedly. I believe these pharmaceuticals are overprescribed for depression and mental illness, and I think your body's made of nutrients. It's not made of drugs. But anyway, I'd like to ask him, is he familiar with DHA, the fatty acid, and thyroid hormone as far as depression and mental illness?
Oh, very good questions. Yeah, DHA is one of the ingredients of omega-3. And again, I mentioned that that's really good to help, but I've never seen it knock depression out without the lithium orotate. That's an experience of thousands of people. It's important. What happens is DHA, which is an ingredient, for people that don't know that term, it's a part of omega-3, fish oils will have it, and it converts to prostaglandin 2, which becomes the active cofactor to make serotonin in the brain. So DHA is very good, but if you don't have the mineral lithium, then even it won't do anything. So that's why the lithium is so key to this. And again, we're not talking about lithium, the drug. We're talking about lithium over-the-counter, lithium orotate. And, you know, I write more extensively about that at my website for people who want more questions answered. The thyroid can be a cause of depression without a doubt. And of all the things the doctor would prescribe, there's something called Armour, which is a form of thyroid medication. It's not synthetic thyroid hormone, but what they do provide is they take a little bit of the gland of an animal, of the thyroid gland.
And preferably an animal eating organic food.
Nicely put, George.
Yeah.
but it is. I've seen it help so many people to do that. However, keep in mind that one of the main reasons, one of the main causes for inactive thyroid, which can lead to mental imbalance, is high cortisol levels. Because there's a balance of thyroid regulates your metabolism unless you're under stress. And then it becomes underactive because the cortisol stress reaction raises your metabolism up into the sugar burning mode to gain quick energy, whereas the thyroid would actually regulate your metabolism to burn fat more efficiently. So thyroid is a key factor, and in some cases by lowering stress in your life, your thyroid can come back into balance. I mentioned one other thing to do with thyroid problems, which are extremely higher in women, but also men have them. If you have a weight gain, often it's thyroid imbalance. And many people don't realize one of the number one things that inhibits healthy thyroid function is chlorinated water and fluoride in water. These are halogens, and what they do is they displace the iodine, which is necessary for the thyroid to function. So the thyroid functions by making hormones out of iodine. And if your iodine, your iodine's from our sea vegetables and fish, and if you're drinking chlorine or fluoride, they will actually kick the iodine out of the thyroid and inhibit the thyroid's ability to utilize iodine.
All right, we're going to go back and do that again, because here's the thing. You might say, oh, well, I drink bottled water, which I do. But you are showering, and your body is pulling in through its skin cells fluoride and chlorine. And when you cook, do you always go to the water bottle, or do you get it from the sink sometimes? Even if you're boiling it, maybe it's not getting everything out. These are the problems, and we are paying for them. Unless you live in Pinellas County, Florida, where they did a referendum to stop putting fluoride in the water. We are the ones that are putting it in our water. So we could be the ones that take it out as well. We are the 99%, and we get stuff done. PG rated. We get it done. Ish done, if you're on Twitter. Alright? So we can do this. This is within our grasp, people. Of all places, Pinellas, Florida, home of Fez from the Ron and Fez show, just got the fluoride and chlorine out of their water, I believe. And we're paying for it from China. We used to have no place to put the chlorine and fluoride because they were byproducts of World War II effort. And there's nowhere you could get rid of this toxic garbage. But you dilute it in the water source, and it's not so bad. But yeah, it is so bad, and now we don't even produce this stuff anymore because China makes everything. So we're literally buying China's toxic crap to put in our water so we can be fed it. So it's just another way that they're killing us, people. All right, let's get this done. Here we go.
So anyway, that's another key factor is for some people making sure you up the...
Wait, all right, let me rewind here a little bit.
Is by lowering stress in your life, your thyroid...
Yeah, thyroid, because it's really important stuff here.
Thyroid gland.
And preferably an animal
Everybody's got
eating.
hormone issues because of the
Specifically
thyroid.
about that at my website for people who want more questions answered.
And the thyroid is under attack thanks to Fukushima because everybody's dealing with a lot more radiation these days. Take a look. We just found a whole thing about an extra huge jump in the infant mortality rate all across the country, especially in Philly. Something like 18,000 extra deaths attributed to the Fukushima radiation. Mother's milk has radiation in it. This is the world we live in, people. You got to protect yourselves. Protect that thyroid.
Thyroid can be a cause of depression without a doubt. And of all the things the doctor would prescribe, there's something called Armour, which is a form of thyroid medication. It's not synthetic thyroid hormone, but what they do provide is they take a little bit of the gland of an animal, of the thyroid gland.
And preferably an animal eating organic food.
Nicely put, George.
Yeah.
But it is, I've seen it help so many people to do that. However, keep in mind that one of the main reasons, one of the main causes for inactive thyroid, which can lead to mental imbalance, is high cortisol levels. Because there's a balance of thyroid regulates your metabolism unless you're under stress. and then it becomes underactive because the whole cortisol stress reaction raises your metabolism up into the sugar burning mode to gain quick energy, whereas the thyroid would actually regulate your metabolism to burn fat more efficiently. So thyroid is a key factor, and in some cases by lowering stress in your life, your thyroid can come back into balance. I mentioned one other thing to do with thyroid problems, which are extremely higher in women, but also men have them. If you have a weight gain, often it's thyroid imbalance. And many people don't realize one of the number one things that inhibits healthy thyroid function is chlorinated water and fluoride in water. These are halogens, and what they do is they displace the iodine, which is necessary for the thyroid to function. So the thyroid functions by making hormones out of iodine. And if your iodine, your iodine's from our sea vegetables and fish, and if you're drinking chlorine or fluoride, they will actually kick the iodine out of the thyroid and inhibit the thyroid's ability to utilize iodine. So anyway, that's another key factor, is for some people making sure you up the iodine content in your diet can make a huge difference. The Japanese children have the highest IQ on the planet, and their mothers eat 60 times more iodine in their diet than American mothers, for example. It's because they have so much seaweed and fish in their diet. And add to that the World Health Organization states that the number one reversible disease on the planet is mental retardation. Mental retardation has one primary cause, and that is iodine deficiency in the mother. So there are wonderful iodine supplements that people can take, as well as try to get fish that doesn't have mercury in it, and also lots of seaweed. Seaweed and kelp are great for iodine.
Let's get Lisa in Westminster, California on before the break. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yes, you said that when women come home, their stress level doesn't go down. I was wondering if that's because the kind of work women have to do or expected to do in the home never seems to end. Maybe they're not getting enough help with it, and maybe they're expected to do more than they used to be expected to do. I don't know, tutoring the children or something more seems to be expected of kids too. Why? I don't know. Are men not pitching in at home, or just pitching in a little more than they used to do?
Well, you covered a lot of ground, and it's all true. Now, if I can get to some more basic ideas to go with it, what's happening is that when women, there's a hormone that helps women relax and cope with stress, and that hormone is called oxytocin. And oxytocin does not get produced if you feel rushed. Now, if you're working all day at a job outside the home and you come home, your mind says, hey, I've got 50 things I got to do. I don't have time to do them. So you start to feel rushed. That inhibits the production of oxytocin, and now your stress levels cannot be regulated. They won't go down because you're feeling in a hurry. And when women's stress levels are high, then what happens is it uses up the hormone progesterone, and progesterone is the hormone that calms the brain. So now your brain starts to loop, and you start thinking, I have to do this, 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 and you can't just sort of relax it. And what I've done in my book, Venus on Fire, is talk about ways that women can produce more oxytocin, whether they're with a man or not with a man. Their stress levels are higher. But so the bottom line here is that there's ways that you can increase oxytocin levels. Some of the nutrients I just mentioned will increase oxytocin levels for sure, but also lifestyle choices. And if you are doing a job and then you come home and you have so many more responsibilities, which is the reality that women face today, and that when I was...
Hold on for a second, John. We'll take this break. Here's our next emerging artist, Ernest Brown. You've always been there.
Is he going to get to wrap it up, or is our man George going to cut him off? All right, I got to go. Time's running out. Love you guys. Have a great day. Living now. Later.